be spending time looking at how to empower our own minds, how to empower how we think, how we feel, how to let go of things that don't serve us, how to improve our relationships, how to get ourselves in alignment with what's awesome and important for ourselves and for the people around us. It's great to have you all here. We have a little ritual. How we begin, I'm going to ring the bell. We're going to line up. And as you're coming into the temple, I want you to just to be setting your own intention. Maybe you want to be thinking, this is an awesome time for you. This is a special time for you to step into your best self, to practice that and be that. Maybe you want to imagine that the door is like a portal, and as you step through, you just leave everything else outside, and you're stepping into a place of total freedom. Maybe you want to do your own thing. Maybe you just want to walk in, whatever. I just invite you, try and make this little ritual we're doing into something awesome for yourself. So I'll ring the bell, we'll line up and make your way in. If you want to have a little moment with the enlightened being at the back of the room, awesome. If not, just grab a cushion. Let's go and be amazing. Thank you. If you want to let your breathing change pace, if you want to remember meditative feelings, start to set your own state of mind to make this awesome, that's all great. If you're just tuning out there on the live stream, welcome. People are just coming in, setting our intention. Hi and hi. Let me just get this camera going. There we go. So hi everybody. Let's just do a little bit of collective intention setting, and then we'll dive into our session. So I want this session to be awesome for you. I want to make this as effective and as powerful for you as possible. I'm saying this to prime my brain and my consciousness to deliver the best it can. And I'm also saying it for you to envisage awesome transformation. Your most empowered, powerful self, the part of you that can transform, the part of you that can take an idea and bring it on as an epiphany, the part of you that can visualize and feel massive change. Let's set that intention. This is the part that we are empowering right now. And we're taking time to really find that not just powerful, transformative self, but the part of us that is good, that is peaceful, that is easeful. We're going to give that part of us the attention that it deserves. All right, and with that intention set, let's begin our session. So there's this new feature that I've seen recently that came out with VR chat. It's this ability to shrink ourselves or make ourselves really big. Oh, it doesn't really work with the cushions. But I think it's interesting because we kind of have this ability in real life. Have you ever noticed sometimes you're in some different situation and you're thinking things that kind of makes yourself feel small? Maybe your voice got smaller, your presence got smaller. And then other times maybe you're feeling really playful or really confident, or you've just had a really great day, or you've done a meditation that makes you feel epic. and then it just makes you feel like you're giant. Oh, I shrunk again. Sorry, I didn't really practice that beforehand. But I just think it's really amazing that we can see. Oh, there we go. That's what I was after. Oh, too big. But yeah, we can see in VR like how much we can transform. But I also want you to think, hey, in real life, we also it's not really working. Let me go back. In real life, we also can transform ourselves pretty massively. Like, think about the difference when you're like just sitting quietly compared to if you're just moving your arms around, you raise your voice a little bit, you're feeling playful, maybe you add a little hey in your voice, a little bit of laughter. You can so massively change how you perceive yourself and how other people perceive ourselves. Now, I'm talking just about the size you feel socially. But the same is also true with how confident you feel. Like when you look into yourself and you imagine your most empowered self or the enlightened you, do you see this little tiny character in your mind? Or do you see this big powerful being? Or do you experience all the goodness that's ever existed in the entire universe or ever will exist pouring into you? Or do you represent it some other way? And I suggest that the more powerful you see that goodness, that awareness, that consciousness, the more powerful you see that, the more powerful it will be. Just like if you're at a party and you start acting bigger, you're going to have more fun, and more fun will come out from the people around you. If you engage with the most enlightened, awesome thing you can imagine, that's going to make you feel more inspired. When you think about transforming some block from the past and you look at it through the eyes of like infinite power, you're going to have a completely different experience there than if you're like, oh yeah, I'm struggling through this thing and working through it. So, what does everybody think about what I just said? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's riff on this idea together. Draco.
How I see my best self is so far beyond where I currently am that I just feel I missed the stage in between and don't know how I got there.
That's a really common thing. People meditate and then they get themselves into this place that's just so awesome. And yeah, it's removed from your day-to-day living.
The thing is, like, this me I see there seems like the me that I always have been, but always will be. But, like, it's like at a point where I just don't know how me being here, the same as I am, got there.
Great question.
You know? So
I hope that the approaches we take today will really help you build that bridge. So, you know, in our minds, in our imaginations, we can do so much stuff. In one moment, I could be thinking, oh yeah, I'm small and I'm shy. But then I could see my friends who are really wild and playful, and then suddenly I'm like full of energy and power again. And then someone asks you like, hey, are you a confident person or a shy person? You could get a totally different answer out of your brain, just depending on whichever bit it hooks into. And as Draco was just saying, when he thinks of his like real self or his enlightened self, he sees this like amazingly good, wise being. And then he said, oh, but who I am, where I am now, that's actually just another role you're playing. And so what I hope for today is to show you how to transform this role that you think you're playing now. And, when you're meditating, you can envisage ease and awesomeness. But if you're imagining that as something that's like removed or distant, your brain will still set that up as something that's removed or distant. So we're going to be looking at, how do you practice? Like, what would I be like if I actually lived like that? If I actually felt like that? And when you have that intention, then your brain gets to model, well, what attitudes would I actually have? What reactions would I actually have to different situations? What habits would I actually do? And so you can actually make that actualized. You can make it real by setting that intention as you meditate on it. By envisaging and feeling yourself now being that kind of person. And while you're just imagining some infinite goodness, you don't even have to make it that real. You could just be feeling wow. Maybe making it real is not as wild. But actually, once you feel that starting to work, it's so much more powerful. So much more awesome. So Draco, I hope that through the session we'll empower what you just said and give you more tools to improve that situation. Does anyone else have any other thoughts or questions about what I said so far? All right, Brian, welcome. We're just doing a session about empowering our minds and our feelings and how we think about us. Yeah, so welcome. We've just got started.
Okay, Big Daddy.
So as I was saying, is there anyone who has any questions or thoughts about that idea of how we frame ourselves? Yeah, Walker.
What would you say is a very good way to kind of ground, your thoughts when there's just so much going on? What could you do to bring yourself back into a state where you could properly think?
Let's get this question a bit more clear, because it could mean a lot of things. So there's a lot going on, as in life's throwing a lot of stuff at you, or there's a lot of things going through your mind?
I would say situations, because I know that thoughts, but thoughts can be bad too.
Yeah, I mean, the answer's kind of similar for both of them, but I want to give a really grounded, clear story as my answer. So let's see. Life's throwing a lot of stuff at you. There's, things with relationships. There's things with work. There's things with your health. There's something with some other thing you're into. All of a sudden, a bunch of things have come up. There's all these pressures you got to deal with. And then how do we get our minds grounded, clear, having good thoughts? Well, the reality is, our brain, while it's amazing, you've got memories of millions of things through your life and so many thoughts and wonderful ideas. How much we can consciously deal with or juggle, that's not infinite. So learning to make what we put our mind on into a reasonable amount is a really good skill. So I remember one time in my life I'd overcommitted to a bunch of projects, and I had a few other things going on as well, and I was really feeling the pressure for all of them. And I was hanging out with this kind of famous self-development author, and I was telling him, hey, I got all this stuff going on. And he looks at me and he's like, just do one thing at a time. And I was like, dude, you don't understand. There's like so much going on. Oh, I've got all this pressure. And he's like, no, I know that's true. But what else can you do than just doing one thing at a time? And I was like, no, yeah, I guess you're right. And I sat down, I took some deep breaths, and I let that settle in. Like, yeah. Instead of juggling all this stuff in my mind and dropping balls and stressing about it, the reality is, with each one of these things, I want to be able to do my best for that thing. So I'll just do one at a time. I'm just going to pause for a little bit, let everybody take some deep breaths and like internalize that. Two things are coming up for me as I say that is, what about if you have this thought, oh, but there's so many things, how do I know which thing to do? I mean, I think realistically, you know the couple of most important things. Maybe there's 5 super important things. Maybe there's really only 2 or 3 or 1 that's actually most important. And if you just decide, hey, I'll do one of them, you're going to pick one of the really good ones. I mean, if you don't pick the top priority, you pick the second one, and you got to do them anyway. So it's all right. You just trust in yourself. I'll do one thing at a time. I'll move forward the best way I can. Now, the other thing that's coming up for me is, like you're juggling all these thoughts and all these other feelings, and maybe your inner voice is a bit like what I'm just talking like right now. And okay, I got to try and pick one. Well, maybe it's also good to give yourself some space, give yourself some time. Many of you have experienced some forms of meditation where you just focus on your breath, or you focus on stillness. And if you spend some time in that stillness, you just let your mind all settle down. It's like a big storm that you've just let become clear. You let the sunshine in, and then when it's all clear, maybe that was 2 minutes, maybe it was 20 minutes. But then from that clearness, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. I got these 5 things to deal with. I'm going to stay cool. I'm going to stay calm. Okay, I got these 5 things to look at. What does my clear, calm mind choose to do? So I hope it's a combination of that powerful thought of like, I will do one thing at a time and I'll do it awesomely. And I'll remember that I can give myself meditations. I can give myself some minutes to bring myself into peace. That some combination of that will help with 99% of the situations of overload. And the one thing at a time, just stepping into that power, like, hey, I'll pick one thing and I'll give that my best, and I'll really just focus on it. That's all I really need to say about that, other than you like internalizing, make that part of you big. I can do that one thing at a time. Yes, I've said all I can say about that. And then meditating into peace, letting your mind be still, practicing that calm. We're definitely going to do some meditations today. And the more often you practice meditation and hang out with meditators and imagine that infinite peace inside of you, the more often you do that, the more amazing that gets. All right, we've got an eager question, so I'll just let everyone take a breath or two to internalize or think about whatever I just said. All right, and Omni Waves is out on the live stream. It says hello to me, and hopefully hello to all of you as well. OmniJex, it's great to have you here. Thanks for being out there on the live stream. If you have any questions or comments, please jump in. I want you to feel like this session is awesome for you and the rest of you out there on the live stream. All right, Draco, you keen with a question or a comment? Let's hear it.
It was more of something that I learned myself that I thought also helped when you're talking about how you can focus on each of the things individually, what I found helped my meditation was I focus on each of the projects I have to deal with, thinking about what's important in those projects. And then from there, then I think about what can I combine from the projects before I even start. Because by doing that, you also lessen the work that you have to do overall by combining different things that probably don't need to be done over and over again.
Awesome. Absolutely, there are times where you can find efficiencies that solve things. There's also the possibility that you then go backing into trying to over-optimize stuff. So yeah, when you can see a way to find things that will help all of the things that have to go, that's excellent. If you can't see them, then stepping into that part of you that's just going to really do its best on one thing at a time is also great. Thanks for the suggestion, Draco. We got some people out on the live stream. Marliese, she's just summed up what I said. Prioritize priorities. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Everybody try and say that 10 times. Prioritize priorities. Prioritize priorities.
Prioritize priorities. Prioritize priorities. Prioritize priorities. Prioritize priorities.
And Ed's
prioritize priorities.
Ed sent us all
Sorry, I'll do it 10
a waving
times.
hand. Thanks, Draco. Cool. All right. So Warcry, I hope that seemed like a good, clear answer. And, you know, I kind of glossed over this infinite peace inside of ourselves and the ability to step into that calm. I definitely want us to have a meditation when we go there today. And, you know, I opened today's session by talking about how we can make different parts of us bigger. If you envisage yourself having this beautiful peace inside yourself, if you imagine that unshakable ocean of calm, the more bigger that feels a part of you, the more readily you think that's available to you, the easier you can feel it, the easier you can step into it. Every time you practice meditation and you notice your mind doing something and you come back into peace, you've got better at that. And then after a while, you get to that point where you're like, peace. And then once you've been able to step instantly into it a few times, then you're like, oh, wow, that's a thing I can do. And then you start getting better and better at that. You make the peace faster and more beautiful and bigger. Or you're able to let go of even more intense things more completely. It's a practice that we just keep getting more amazing at. All right. Awesome question. And yeah, doing that meditation, exploring it today, that's what we're going to do. Actually, I kind of feel inspired to maybe do that meditation in a minute. Does anyone else have any other comments or questions about this topic? Otherwise, I think we're going to dive into a meditation. Draco.
One of the things that helped me get it for the first time was filling my mind with a single thought. A lot of times people try to do the breath or something like that, but it could simply even be a word or a letter. Filling your mind with that and then just removing that will leave you in that meditative state where you just have nothing there.
So for anyone who's brand new to meditation, there's lots of different tricks we can do with our attention and how we focus and how we think. And some of these tricks are actually really powerful. They can snap us out of a stressed out time. They can make us feel confident. They can bring us, as Draco said, into this space of pure stillness. You can learn to notice what your mind's doing, and instead of just being in it, you get to be the director of the stage show in your mind. You get to be the debugger of the software you're running. You get to be the script writer. So if you're brand new to meditation, there's so many things we can do by just approaching ourselves differently, approaching our mind differently, and different practices we can do that can train us into different ways of being, that can train us into new feelings. So, I'm going to guide a meditation. I am going to start with that inspiration of how do you step into calm when you need to. Let the storm settle. Come into that sunny place. And then probably when we're there, I'm going to focus on that part of you that's confident, that's empowered, that's awesome, making that part bigger. We're just going to spend some time envisaging that, practicing it, feeling it. And we'll just see where we go from there. All right, so if you're out there on the live stream, I hope that you're in a place where you can get really comfortable and meditate. If you're driving or something, please stay focused on what you need to focus, and let these positive ideas inspire you. But if everybody, if you're in a place where you can find stillness and calm, let's begin. So I just adjusted my seat, I adjusted my feet, put them flat on the floor. If you're sitting on a cushion, I invite you to wiggle your butt, probably wiggle it forward so your knees are down a little more, and crossed legs. Notice that I just straight away jumped into being aware of our body. If there's a storm of thoughts in your mind, Draco said, by focusing on something, it lets the mind settle. And just feeling your posture and letting your body relax can be a really great way to snap out of whatever's going on and step back into peace. So Darkest Raptor, we're just beginning a meditation. Come in and grab a seat. We're going to do an exercise on how to bring yourself peace and calm anytime you need. And then we're going to step into our most awesome self and practice being confident and powerful. All right, so we've all just felt our feet and our legs. Then I'm just noticing my shoulders. Give your shoulders a little jiggle. That makes me aware of my arms. And then feel where you're going to put your hands. Today, just go near your knees or your thighs or in your lap. I'm wearing different controllers today than normal, so I can't really hold them together the way I normally do. So just finding what works right now. All right. And then if you want to close your eyes, you can. And I invite you to take a really deep breath and just feel your lungs and your spine and your posture. Take a few really deep breaths. Eyes closed, just really feeling your body, feeling your posture, getting into a state where you feel strong and calm, relaxed and powerful. And if you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Relaxed and powerful? Well, just try it. Hold that idea in mind. Take some breaths with that idea of my body feeling relaxed and powerful. And just watch. You can actually create a relaxed, powerful posture and a relaxed, powerful feeling. And a relaxed, powerful state of mind. And some of you might notice, wow, that was really fast. I feel peaceful now. I feel calm in my body and my mind. And I just invite you to imagine, what if you practiced that every day? That just a couple of deep breaths and feeling powerful peace. You got better and better Just really diving into feeling peace and calm. Imagine if all of your thoughts just disappeared. The feeling of your body being peaceful and powerful. The feeling of your breath flowing in and out, filling you with more peace and power. That became your whole world. And every breath, it gets better. Maybe you'll notice different parts of your body letting go into greater peace. Maybe you'll feel it comes in waves of deeper peace in your feelings and your mind. Just focusing on the peace, powerful peace in your body and your mind. With each breath that you take, feeling the powerful, peaceful breaths. It's pretty amazing that we can shape our state of consciousness. So I invite you, just imagine, what kind of states of consciousness would you like to regularly have? Would you like to feel peaceful? Would you like to feel confident? Would you like to feel easeful and empowered? As you keep breathing, just feel yourself creating the states of mind, the feeling in your body, your emotions in your mind. And as we all step into the meditation even deeper, just let yourself be excited. Wow, what kind of clarity, what kind of power could I create? If that was just a couple of minutes to feel peace, I could give myself that a few times throughout the day, anytime I need to. And now imagine your confident, empowered self, that you practice being in this place many times a day. You made this confident, easeful feeling, this confident, easeful state of mind. You practice making it part of you, You just keep reconnecting to it, growing it, strengthening it. Now I invite you to notice, what's your mind doing right now? What are you feeling like? What's in your consciousness? What's in your body? And we're going to go deeper. Imagine if you just let go of all that other stuff. You're going to go into an even more beautiful peace, a more amazing stillness. So just set that intention and imagine yourself feeling even more clear. If you're feeling anything, just imagine that disappearing. Just feeling the peace of each breath. And as all your attention flows with the peaceful of the breath, you become peace. From this peace, you can do amazing things. There was a question before most of you arrived. What if you notice you've got some block, some habit, or some emotion, or some set of thoughts that just been around? Well, I invite you to imagine letting that go. Imagine stepping into the part of you where I'm going to choose the best way to think and feel about that part of me. And whatever else comes up, just remind yourself again, no, I'm choosing the best way to be. Every part of me is transforming. I choose ease, I choose confidence, I choose clarity. There was also a question earlier, what do we do with friendships if there's some kind of conflict? And I invite you to imagine that every conversation, every relationship, you just fill it with kindness. Even if you completely disagreed, you're so kind in your words, in your tone, in your vibe. You could face anything together. And not just with other people. I invite you to imagine that into yourself. That your positive mindset is so loving and so kind, you can just face anything in yourself. Just bring ease, wisdom, transformation so lovingly and so beautifully into every thought, everything you do, everything you think about, everything you talk about. Just take some deep breaths and imagine your whole self being guided by powerful kindness. Imagine if every part of you was filled with kindness. Every friendship, every interaction you've ever had and ever will have, just filled it up with kindness. Present, powerful kindness. Feel the part of you that is peaceful and powerful and good and kind. Breathe into the most awesome, effective version of you. And for the last part of this meditation, we're just going to make it extra real. Maybe you could think of someone close to you where relating to them with a lot more kindness would be transformative and amazing. Or maybe you could think of some part of yourself where approaching yourself with really present kindness that can resolve things and face things. Maybe that would be awesome. Or maybe you can just meditate on a general kindness for everyone you interact with. Or whatever you choose. Let's make it real. Pick something you're going to contemplate, you're going to practice, you're going to envisage. We're going to practice bringing that kindness from our meditation into ourselves. So just start moving your mind from the meditation into your living day-to-day mind. Bring that powerful kindness. Maybe remind yourself, was there a really good feeling or a clear response that you saw that you'd like to practice or remember? Maybe there was a perspective change. Breathe into that. Empowered, ease, kindness. You're a force for good in yourself and in others. And as you're coming out of the meditation, maybe you want to wish some kindness for everybody here. Everyone here in the temple, everyone on the live stream, everyone who will ever watch this video. Just really wishing beautiful kindness for everybody. I'm wishing amazing kindness for you. You're wishing kindness for me. Everybody here, all imagining a powerful, wise kindness as a deep, powerful part of each of us. So one thing I like to do here, or after any meditation, is to have some time of positive sharing. Staying peaceful in our voice, just in case anyone's still in meditation, just letting good feelings or nice epiphanies, beautiful perspectives be shared. So I'm just going to open it up for people to share. And then over time, we can explore other things. But if you had anything really nice happen, or if you're feeling good, you just want to describe how you feel, or maybe your imagination did something beautiful, or maybe you saw something from a perspective you found really empowering. Anything that anyone would like to share, or maybe it's just some little detail about the meditation that you appreciated. Something about how you guided it for yourself. Something about what happened or that you did. Or maybe just something nice that I did. Just going to let everyone take a moment. Still keep enjoying your meditation and just see if there's anything you'd like to share. Draco, was that something you would like to share? Or D-Roo perhaps? Oh, here we go. IP, out on the live stream, has shared kindness and compassion meditations are always so much more profound and amazing than I expect. Thank you. Well, I'm not sure if you were here for the start of it, IP, but we started with finding inner peace and empowerment. And then somehow kindness just embedded itself into that and took over. So I'm glad that it was profound and amazing for you. You might have heard me say this before. When I first learned compassion meditation, it was in a book, and they said you should do it every day. It's like you've got a little seed and you want to grow it. And they said at least every day for 30 days so that it will just keep growing and growing. And I did that. And for me personally, it was really hard to start. And then a couple of weeks in, I was like, beautiful kindness. Yeah, I want a lovely world. And then a month in, I was feeling love and kindness for all beings. People who treated me so bad, I just had so much love to just pour into them. It's like my whole self was just filled with love and kindness. So anyway, a couple of years later, I was sitting in a group that was listening to a monk, and the monk had guided a kindness meditation for us. And then afterwards they told us all, oh, by the way, this is a practice that you're supposed to do every day for at least a month. And then it was so cute. This monk in robes, shaved head, they're like, oh, and please try it. Please, 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 please try it. Just see how amazing it can be. Please, please try it. The infinite compassion is so good. Please, please try it every day. And I was sitting there and I could just really relate. Like I had done it every day for 30 days and I'd seen how amazing it had gotten. But then I'd gone through my life kind of not aware that people hadn't had it phrased like that or done it. And then suddenly seeing this monk like begging people to try compassion meditation every day for a month, I I just thought it was so beautiful and so humble of him, and so sweet that, yeah, I have the same wish for all of you. If you like that compassion meditation, listen to this recording every day for a month, or guide your own compassion meditation from where you are to just let it get more beautiful each day. It gets even more beautiful each day. It's like exponentially more beautiful kindness, more powerful compassion, more massive love and understanding. So, hi P, I'm glad you liked it, and I hope you liked my response that I just gave. Would anyone else like to share something from their meditation? Diru?
Yes, actually, well, one thing I just want to say, that's a really wonderful idea with the little seedling of compassion. Trying to grow it every day. I'm going to try that because I have this feeling like that could actually work for me, because I'm having a really hard time with compassion meditation in general. But during this meditation, that you really inspired me when you mentioned, Dad, we could actually direct the loving kindness or whatever we're channeling. We could direct what we're channeling towards ourselves to give ourselves that loving kindness, which is something I have a challenge with. It's why I've chosen this avatar, is to try to help, frame my mind. And it worked. I actually used that loving kindness, motherly kangaroo energy towards myself, and I actually feel like it's working on the other things I've tried. So thank you for that. There's definitely something to it.
You're really welcome.
Definitely something to channeling.
So the comment about compassion, it actually came from someone's request before the session. They were talking about some hardship they'd had with a friend, a disagreement. And I was thinking, well, as you go to talk about it, if you just stay in this amazing kindness, you'll be able to really look at the disagreement in a way that's kind. And we can see what we agree upon. We can see which ways both of us are being good, see which ways perhaps we're attached to something not great. And as I was sharing that little idea, that gem that I hoped was helpful for them, it got me to think, well, what about in ourselves, where there's things where if we were able to face it lovingly, kindly, we'd be able to bring a lot more attention and positivity to that part of ourselves. And that was like a springboard that then just turned into all the rest of that meditation. Yeah. Ed just wanted to share love and appreciation.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. So Ed just wanted to share love and appreciation to everyone, and that you're all awesome. Shrekshimus, welcome. We just did a peace and empowerment meditation that then just got taken over by a kindness meditation. May we be kind and supportive and wonderful to ourselves and to others. And as we're able to be really kind, we can face anything in ourselves, and we can face anything with other people. Draco, you wanted to share something?
Oh, that's really awesome.
You're really awesome.
About directing it towards yourself, it helped me find some things that I helped myself with, which then actually opened up other ideas that helped me find paths that are less painful.
Wonderful. Yeah, earlier I was saying there are all these different tricks we can do with our mind, different ways of thinking about things. And if you take a different approach that then shows you a different path, a different way of thinking about it, that's amazing. You know what I'm excited about from what you just said is not just that, hey, now you found some other paths, but just that idea of like, wow, I can take completely different paths in my mind, in my thinking, in my feelings. Let me always make the most beautiful, straight and narrow path, straight to the heaven inside myself. Deeru, you mentioned about compassion meditation, and I think you said the word struggle or something. You know, when I first started doing it, for the first few days, I couldn't even feel a moment of compassion. I was at a time in my life where I didn't have any friends. I'd had a falling out with some people a while ago. They were my only friends. I was so alone and angry and trying to have some compassion. I thought of my mother, but even then I couldn't feel it. But just for a few days I held that intention. I want to have compassion. And then after a few days of doing it every day, I started to glimpse it. I was like, oh yeah, actually there are things I appreciate there, and there is things I feel good about. And then once I had that feeling, and some of those, like, oh yeah, obviously there's that part that I feel good about, then that grew. And then it was like the opening of a floodgate. I'm not saying there was this floodgate of compassion inside myself, but there was this opening of the potential to cultivate massive compassion. And once you're feeling it, once you're seeing it, and you spend time on it every day, it just keeps growing and gets more and more beautiful. So even if it feels tricky, I hope that just inspires you, like, wow, how much potential is there to grow it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, what was the breakthrough for you? You said you were thinking about your mother, and that still wasn't working for you, but something clicked, right? Something clicked for you.
No, there wasn't a breakthrough. It was slow and gentle and nice. It was just that little bit of the feeling towards her. And I was like, oh yeah. And then there was a little bit more of like, oh yeah, she has helped me out with that thing. And oh yeah, now I feel a little more. And now I feel a little more. And all right, now think about some other people that have been nice to me. Yeah, cool. I've grown this feeling. And I really think we should take the approach with meditation that
you can think about people being nice to you as well and using that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just one example. As I was holding that idea of compassion, I was also wishing for others to feel good. I was also just imagining kindness flowing to them. There was just all kinds of things. And there was no breakthrough. It was just a constant growing, more and more of it. Every now and then I'd be like, yeah, I don't say all the nice things I want to say, so I guess other people aren't doing it either. Maybe they do care more than I thought. I would have little breakthroughs, but I don't want to say that, like, this is the breakthrough for compassion meditation. Just doing it every day, it just grew and grew and got more beautiful, and there was more and more perspectives and more amazing feelings that just kept growing.
Yes, you have to keep watering the seed for it to grow.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the idea of the seed.
And if you imagine it's like a really fast garden, we planted a seed now of compassion, and for some of us it felt really good. Maybe you could imagine that it grows a lot, and in like 2 days from now it's already a flower or some fruit, and then there's a bunch of seeds. And so 4 or 5 days from now, if you just keep growing the garden, then you'll have a whole bunch of these plants growing. And then a few days later, you're going to have like 100 seeds scattering everywhere through yourself. And you keep growing that. And then a few days later, you're going to have thousands of them.
You can share those seeds with others.
Yeah, absolutely.
A great visualization for that would be like that scene in My Neighbor Totoro. For anyone who has seen the movie My Neighbor Totoro, there's a wonderful scene in there where they're doing this magic bit, making the seeds grow in their garden, and the seeds finally become these massive trees shooting up into the sky and just filling out the whole garden and area around the house. It's a really nice scene.
So one thing I want to say is that when we're meditating on metaphors, I've seen sometimes where people focus on the metaphor and don't get as much of the result. But then I've seen other times where focusing on the metaphor is like a path that gets you there much faster than if you were thinking about it practically. So when we're going to be meditating on things, I always care about results. I want us to be happier, more peaceful, more empowered. So if you're
Find out what works best for you.
and I truly think for all of us that changes at times, and as you explore many things, you'll find stuff. Like maybe one day the metaphor of seeing the tree grow is great, and then you're like, this works for me, but actually that'll limit you. A week from now, meditating on saying kind things to people, or looking deep into their eyes and seeing the person inside, like exploring different things is what enriches you most when it comes to cultivating stuff. And when it comes to meditations of focus or stillness, you might have been taught, hey, this technique works well, or you might have had one awesome experience in that technique. I still suggest that everybody, while you make the things that work, you practice them and make them awesome, you still have space to try other things and see what extra skills and awareness we can bring into our practice. Diru?
Instead of focusing on the
And
words
I
of the
just thought I'd
poem,
mention-
focusing on the meanings that it could have.
Yeah.
That's a similar
I just
idea.
thought I'd mention that for me, I've never succeeded in actually in doing the loving kindness for myself. That just for some reason I can't do it. It's easy for me to do loving kindness for everyone else, but I've never, oddly enough, never succeeded at doing loving kindness for myself. It just never worked. So I'm trying every technique I can.
But you said today
So
you got some
I think
of
this
it, right?
might work. You know, one thing could lead to another. So thank you.
And
Yes. This could be the first time I actually find something that really works
wonderful.
for myself.
Another thing you could try is you're doing loving kindness for someone else. You'd be like, oh, would I like them to be able to give love and kindness to themselves? And as you hold that and see them giving love and kindness to themselves, be like, well, actually, a lot of people struggle with that. So I guess I really want to give that to the
It
world.
seems like a whole new technique in addition, actually.
And so, yeah, that can be real motivation that you give it to yourself, because then you're able to say to other people, it's actually really beautiful, and I really, really wish that for you. Not just wish it for you, like, you say you can't do it, and yeah, you've tried in the past and you couldn't, but I know you can let go of that.
You already did it today.
And yeah, you've done it, and you can keep doing it, and it'll get more amazing, and you'll be able to share that with other people. You know, there are so many people in the world that struggle with giving love and kindness to themselves. Make that a seed that you want to give so much more love and care. The world needs it. And part of that is all of us caring for ourselves, including you. Especially you. Especially you. We care about you. Just accept that and give yourself some more of it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I just had a thought I wanted to share. You know, we were talking about metaphors or contemplating meanings. I want to share what I've found as an underlying mechanism for every kind of meditation. And maybe you'll see it through this lens as well. That in our consciousness there are words, there's ideas, there's actions. You could think about standing up, you could think about walking, you could think about saying hello, you can think about saying hello kindly or saying hello rushed. Like there's all these different ways
Think about breathing and do it manually.
Yeah.
Manually.
You can think about breathing in like perfect peace. You think about like, and I'm saying think, But it's not even necessarily thinking in words. There's words, and there's actions, and there's concepts, and there's visual things, there's bodily sensations.
Your
All-
body language.
All of these different kinds of conscious things, thoughts, words, actions, they're all ways that our consciousness works. And a metaphor or an idea isn't actually going to change us. What actually changes us is how we act, how we feel. So ultimately, I want all of us to be able to meditate on transforming how you actually are. And I'm only talking to you in words. That's all I can do. So I hope that in some way you transform those words into actual feelings, into actual concepts, into actual ways of being. And in our meditations, if you embrace, I'm rehearsing how to actually be, I've found that to be the most powerful. And then all these other techniques, I think they're just kind of pointing your mind in towards the results. So I hope you carry that with you, that, hey, I'm just going to focus on the result. I'm going to practice the result. It's kind of like a shortcut. There are some people who spend a lot of time on a concept or on a word, and they're like, oh, why am I not getting the result? Well, I encourage people to imagine what it'd be like if you just got the result. What would it be like if I could give compassion meditation to myself? And not some idea of like, oh, I'd be struggling, but like, hey, I'm just going to imagine. What if I just could do it? Oh, this is what I do. I'm not really feeling it right now, but I can imagine what that'd be like. And I can ask myself, what would it feel like? I'm not really feeling it now, but I'm just going to hold that idea. Give myself kindness meditation. Oh, yeah, I want everyone to be nice to themselves. Yeah, okay. I'm imagining I can do that.
Especially in meditation, you can even teach yourself some of those things. Even at a much more advanced level, you look at for the results, and like, for example, you realize you're not all that great at something. Instead of chasing someone else that's so far ahead of you in that, you just imagine a you that's just a little bit better at it than you are now, and you chase it until you're there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
There's nothing wrong with chasing Neojacks, though. I'll take either one.
So I've found that if you are practicing actually transforming, not as some distant thing, but what if it's like, I'm just going to practice right now? I've found that if you're imagining a big change or a small change, if you spend a certain amount of time practicing something, your brain and your feelings and your habit will jump there. And so as long as you can actually visualize what it's like, what it feels like, it doesn't matter how big the jump is. I recommend you try to imagine the best that you can envisage. I mean, if you can't envisage it, if it's too abstract, bring it back just a little bit better than what you are now. But as you meditate on each day, you're able to make it even more amazing and more beautiful. And Draco, you were saying, hey, it's not just about compassion meditation. Yes, I was hinting that this idea of empowering yourself, practicing how you think and feel, it applies to everything. How you meditate, how confident you are, what you like at parties, how well you handle pressure, how much you write, how creative you are, how you organize teams. Like every part of your life, if you spend time visualizing and rehearsing how you want things to be, how you want yourself to be, you can train yourself. And if you train it every day, or even a few times a day, it gets exponentially easier and better and more automatic. Hey, the three of us sitting at the front here have been saying a lot. I'd love to hear from everyone else back there. What are you guys thinking? Or those of you out on the live stream, love you to feel like you're here with us as well, that this session is for you, to be helpful, inspiring, and awesome for you. Shrexamus, what's on your mind?
I'd love to give the metta or loving kindness another go.
Are you thinking today or just like regularly in your life?
Well, both.
All right, we're going to do our closing meditation as a loving kindness meditation. Ask and you shall receive.
Ooh.
So yeah, today the opening meditation was about finding that peace, stepping into that part of you where you are free to envisage anything. And then the loving kindness kind of jumped in and took over. So yeah, I'll do a just really explicitly loving kindness meditation for our closing meditation today. Thanks for asking, Shrexamus. Would anyone else like to share or ask anything? Dero, Draco, we can come back to us in a minute. I just wanted to make sure everyone feels included. Darkest Raptor, it's great to have you here. Everyone else has been here before. We do this every week, and I want these sessions to be awesome for you. You know, I could talk about loving kindness, but if that just sounds like some idea, then I'm wasting my time. I really want you to know that you actually can practice being more patient with people, that when you see people, you've trained yourself that you have more happiness, that your tone of voice is more joyful, that you find greater compassion that gives you more purpose and more clarity with life, because as you imagine humanity working towards a better world, you're more inspired to think what's the really effective things you can give. I hope it also impacts your values, what choices you make, what we do that impacts others. Like, these sessions are supposed to be like really effective and impactful, and I hope that you make them that for yourself. And I work really hard to try and convey seeds that transform us, but I want you to be making the best seeds you can. So please engage as much as you can, as much as you want, and please take as much as you can. If you hear us say something that sounds far out, oh, compassion for all beings, I hope that you actually take it seriously. I wouldn't be saying it if I hadn't actually got there. And so if you hear anything that's like you can't relate to it, ask us, or take a moment to imagine, wow, these guys are actually talking about real things. If people start talking about like far out stuff here, I cut it off. I want this to be applicable, practical, achievable transformations. And sometimes they sound too amazing, but that's because our minds can be really amazing. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope you've enjoyed the meditation and the conversation, and I encourage you to keep coming. We start just a little bit before you arrived every week. Chef Bip, good to see you here. Glad you could join us. So we did I'm just going to repeat it for everyone who's already here. Every time you hear a positive suggestion, again, think of it like that's another one of those positive seeds being planted, or it's re-watering it. Repetition of goodness helps that goodness to grow. So we started with a meditation about like being able to clear your mind when there's like lots of stuff going on in your life or in yourself. Finding peace is really awesome. We did a pretty nice body scan, and quite quickly we're a little more relaxed. And then I spent some time just being like, hey, just let yourself feel good. Focus on calm in your body, calm in your mind. And we got ourselves feeling really good. And from that good feeling, I was then saying, envisage yourself being confident, feeling easeful, being able to handle whatever comes your way. And we practiced that for a while. And then we were thinking about relating with other people, and I mentioned just bring kindness into whatever situation happens. And something about that for me just carried me into a really beautiful kindness. So I kind of just took the meditation there, and we were all wrapped up in kindness for ourselves and for others, and beautiful kindness in everything we do, and being able to approach ourselves with a powerful kindness so that we can face anything in ourselves with love and wisdom and ease. And yeah, that's been our discussion since the meditation ended. And so in a minute we're going to do a closing kindness meditation, but from now till then we'll do the meditation straight away if you guys want to, or if you guys have questions or things to talk about, we can have another like 10 minutes of exploration, of philosophy, of ideas, of questions, of wherever you guys want to take it. So, anybody? Sigma, did you just fall off your seat because you're so excited to say something? I think your mic's still muted. All right, Draco, what were you going to say?
Gonna ask if you have any advice on how to reconcile the ideas you have with how reality actually reacts to them.
Can you give an example what you mean?
For example, like you're talking about love and kindness. Sometimes you do your best to be as kind as you are, but sometimes you get something very not nice in return.
Yeah.
Or other people take advantage of that kindness.
Two really great questions. I love that you ask such practical questions. Thanks. Sigma, I see you. I'm keeping my eyes on when you finish typing. So yeah, I am really focused on practical results. In our imaginations, in our meditation, we can make ourselves think anything. You could meditate on the moon being made out of cheese. And if you did that, you'd get to the point where every time you'd look up, you'd see cheese on the moon. So meditation's really powerful.
And you'd wonder how that would taste.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who lives up there? And yeah, so if we're not careful, we can take our minds into all kinds of not great places. Even kindness meditation, if not done skillfully, could take us into not a great place, like you mentioned. So I do really care about...
They must...
Pardon, Diru?
Oh, it's more the concept of even love and kindness meditation can take you to some place not great. I've had that come up a few times, and that's why I decided I needed to find a guru or somebody else who can recommend better methods for me when I'm doing my love and kindness.
So, you brought up some different things. Sometimes you're kind and someone will react with anger, or they'll think you're making fun of them, or they will respond quite intensely to your gift of kindness.
They come at you with suspicion, maybe thinking you're up to something.
Yeah. So, the universe, the actual universe we live in, is not as simple as, I'm kind, everything's rosy. It is sometimes. There's a lot of people, you give them a smile and they're like, oh, thanks, you made my day. There's a lot of space for...
You hold the door open to someone going into the store and they're like, thank you. And
Yeah.
you're like, you're welcome.
And
have a great day.
And you said, have a great day. And they're like, I will. And they go and have a great day. So in a lot of ways, that simple, beautiful, positive intention works. So I would say, hey, go for that simple, beautiful, positive intention. And...
But sometimes you hold the door open and you get some lady that just yells at you and go,
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, yeah. And
So-
you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
have a good day.
And so hopefully the response you
know?
just had afterwards of like, okay, have a good day. Maybe you'll say that in a way that they will be like, oh, whoops. Yeah, maybe I'll try and have a good day now. But yeah, what I was going to say is, yeah, setting that positive intention, just goodness, kindness, it's great. It's going to work for most of the people most of the time. And we try and practice what in some meditation schools they call skillful means. So visualize, like, okay, I've seen that people who are a bit like that are going to react like this. So I'm just going to meditate on a more reserved kindness for them. Or maybe step into their shoes. How would they like someone to be kind to them? And it's a game. You play with life. Like, how do I be kind to those people? How do I find
How
a
do I
way?
understand why they even reacted that way?
Yeah, I mean, you might get to a point where you understand it, or you might just see how they're kind to each other and you're able to emulate it. Maybe you'll never understand. Maybe you will. But yeah, finding how to make it great, and focus mostly on the people where the kindness is received. Now you also, that's all I'm going to say about that. Exploring kindness, expressing it in ways that work, connecting with more of the people where your natural kindness works well. Also finding how to share kindness in different scenarios. Now you brought up another topic. What if you're just so kind that people will take advantage of you? What if you have such a positive intention that I want enlightenment for all beings, I'm just going to give all the time, like some meditation and religious paths say to do, and then you end up living on the street, just traveling around teaching meditation.
Miserable, not really have it.
Well,
Not really have
when I
enough.
got to that place, I was still happy because I was choosing how I wanted to feel, but it certainly wasn't optimal. So we got to choose to be skillful. You know, someone might give some profound sounding idea. Just trust the universe and spread kindness. Oh, that sounds so good. But you know, making it real is important. And so you envisaging kindness for all beings, I would suggest part of that is seeing everybody's life working well, and we share and we care for each other in a way that builds social cohesion, where people are respectful of one another, where you give in a way that, you know, for some people you do just want to give and they'll reciprocate. And then for people who don't, then you step back and you're like,
Being skillful.
exactly. You step
Yeah.
back and you're like, hey, how can I do
Care
this
for
in a way that's
yourself.
careful?
Step back and care for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you just cultivating compassion, you try and do that in a way where, like, hey, I'm going to imagine a beautiful world, and as I'm working towards that, that includes a beautiful life for me. Just like you want to wish other people, better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener on a battlefield. So Sigma's pointing out, create in yourself an awesome strength that can handle anything, and then go work in the garden and make things beautiful. Because if you just learn how to plant flowers and then there's a battlefield around you, people are going to take advantage of you. So make yourself strong, powerful and effective, and then with that strength, do goodness. It's probably, I could give you some other perspective in another day that would also be good. It's about trying to find as many skillful approaches as possible, and there's no platitude that's going to work with every person. Look carefully at who you're dealing with. Contemplate how you want to relate to them. Bring the part of you that you choose into that conversation. Draco?
Sometimes the greatest kindness in some cases is literally letting them experience their own fault.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, if they're not going to hear.
And in some cases, equanimity is actually a good way to show compassion to some people.
Yeah.
Draco, I want to be careful around that because I definitely grew up around people where they're like, oh,
Well, it's not like
can I
not
say
like
what I was
you
going to say?
respond with them with their own.
So I definitely grew
faults,
up around people where if someone was going through something, they were like, oh, just leave them to it. Where if we had spent some time to be like, hey, what's going on? Let me help you. Let me let you know you're not alone. It would have been much, much better. So I definitely think a community where people care is great. But if that is like, well, I actually hope we all embody that we want a world where people care. And if that's where you're coming from, and then you decide, hey, with that person I've tried, or then I think I just have to let them go, that's what will be the greatest result here, then yes, I agree with you.
There's some people, like I was talking about, the people that would take advantage. And that's what they do, and they continuously do that, and they take advantage of whoever they can. And so you have to separate yourself not only for your benefit, but to let them have some space to figure out that they shouldn't be doing so.
They might never figure it out. Maybe the kindest thing you could do would be to really confront them and be like, hey, I see.
Give them hints.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that too. But for me, mostly what I do is I try to be hands off. I point out where they might have problems. Sometimes they don't listen. But if they don't want to hear it, they don't want to listen, as long as I've told them and I've done what I can, then I have to separate. Because maybe they'll look back on it and realize he had a point at some point. Or maybe they won't. But I am me, they are them. And for my health, I have to separate from it.
Totally. Ideally, what I imagine when I think of the best possible world is that we would confront a lot more. You know, saying something to someone one time, maybe they'll think about it, maybe they'll look back on it, they probably won't. And so, yes, there are definitely lots of people I don't want you burning your energy on. But for people who are close to us, I actually would love a world where if you see something going on for someone, you like really engage with them about it. You really like, and if they're like, yeah, you'd be like, hang on, no, I think this will be really helpful. Let's learn this together, and like really engage on it. So much of the world, we're kind of making our way through the world by ourselves, without, there's other amazing minds all around us, and then we're still left to figure things out by ourselves with just the occasional word from people here and there. So, yes, Draco.
Listen to the silent cries for help. And see what you can do to help.
Yeah, totally. All right, everyone, checking the time. It's about time for our closing meditation. Shrexmas, you said you want to try some more compassion meditation. Deeru, you mentioned compassion meditation for ourselves. I was talking about how kindness meditation can grow exponentially and it can get to a point of wonderful beauty. In many traditional kindness meditations.
Yeah, and using that channeling for yourself.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to include some of those perspective shifts. And many people find that when they start kindness meditation, just focusing on something that's easy, like one person that is easier to care for, and just letting that grow for a few days, and then you've got this good thing that can then grow more. Hey, we're just about to start a kindness brain transformation if you want to come in. Kindness meditation. SLN, I got him. Hey, welcome. Come on in. So when I'm guiding these meditations, it's a mixture for me. Do I start with just the easy, accessible thing, or do I also hint at what it can be like when we are feeling kindness for everybody? So I'm going to take the meditation wherever it takes me. And I hope that you all come with me. If we end up feeling kindness and compassion for every person in the world, for all the butterflies and the lambs, and compassion and kindness and understanding for every moment of consciousness that exists, great. If we're just sticking with our one family member and trying to be more deeply kind to them, if that's where the meditation takes me, great. If we're just focusing on ourselves, great. I'm just going to see where it goes. It's just going to be a compassion jam. How's that sound, everybody? Actually, can I just see with the...
Sounds good.
If you are like, no, I want to be compassion for like the whole universe, go like that. If you're like, no, I'm feeling like I just want to feel compassion for my best friend, go like this. Let me get... Draco, I want the whole world to see you doing that. Do it again, Draco. Wasn't expecting. But yeah, let me get a feel for everybody here. D-Root. Shrexamus, can I see your hands? Sigma's like half. Cool.
Oh, sorry, I'm on desktop.
Okay.
I'd be willing to go far.
Excellent. All right, so in the meditation, often we let our hands be still. But if you feel inspired at some point where you're like, hey, I really want to like narrow this in, and you want to go like that, I'll try and be aware of it. But if you start having some epiphany of enlightenment for all beings and you want me to carry it further and you reach out, go for that too. I'll try and read the crowd more than just the subtle movements I normally see. If you want to guide with your hands, great. All right, let's begin our closing meditation. So I invite everybody to get comfortable. So, as we did before, I'm checking in with my feet. I'm putting them flat on the ground. I'm moving to the front of my seat. Actually, today I feel like crossing my legs. My knees are lower than my hips. You check in with your base. Feet flat on the ground, symmetrical, or legs crossed. Check in with your hips and your legs. And it actually works like what you tell your body. So you can just think, hey, legs, feet, base. Stepping into meditation now. Letting my base just feel relaxed. Take a couple deep breaths. And as you feel your legs and your feet relaxing, it's like everything else is stopping. Stillness as we step into meditation. And your mind's really good at shifting gears. So I want you to take a really deep breath. Expand your lungs. Stretch it. And enjoy letting go. As you do another one of those, you'll just feel your chest and your shoulders and your spine and your posture. Letting go. Yeah. Wow, how quickly we just scan through our body and let things relax more, feel good. I just close my eyes. You can let your eyes close anytime. And just feeling your shoulders and your arms, your hands, and your legs. As you take another breath or two, letting the body be still and entertaining the idea of the mind being still. Stepping into meditation. Letting myself feel peace. Then take another deep breath and feel your shoulders and neck muscles. And then you take another breath and let your face be at peace. And then feel the breath coming in and out of your nose as you take a few breaths. Just immerse yourself in feeling the breath. Notice whatever's going on in your mind. You just take a couple more breaths and imagine everything else disappears. You're just going to feel the breath. Just hear the breath. As we now begin our compassion meditation. So we're going to start hopefully somewhere easy. And I just invite you to choose a really good friend or a close family member. Someone where you do care about them already. And if you're in a place where it's hard to think of anyone, just whoever comes to mind, we'll start there. And if lots of people come to mind, I hope there's some part of you just realizes how lucky you are and that feels beautiful. And I just invite you to choose one person for now. And so just like we can meditate and focus on the breath or focus on the peace in the body, I want you to bring your focus onto the person you just chose. And as you look at them, setting that intention, I'm practicing compassion right now. So imagine them in front of you. And imagine looking at them and giving them a smile. And maybe they smile back. Maybe they're not used to having a smile and they react somehow. You just hold the smile as you look at them and just feel, I chose you right now to feel care. I want you to feel that I care for you right now. Holding your attention on them and the intention of caring. Imagine them feeling the caring. Maybe that just makes the feeling of caring grow and grow and grow and grow inside of you. Maybe that makes you think of things you want to say, or the ways you want to treat them. Whatever you're doing around cultivating caring for them, that's great. But just keep holding that intention, seeing them and them feeling caring. Make your breath beautiful and intentional. It's an anchor that just holds you in to that caring. See this person. Maybe you could imagine a more beautiful feeling of caring with each breath. Say something kinder to them, or you'll give them a kinder hug, or you'll imagine a more beautiful feeling. You'll smile at them more beautifully. Your eyes look kinder. Or next time you see them, the tone of your voice will be kinder. You're just filling up kindness. So hold this person in mind. Cultivating beautiful kindness. And then I invite you to imagine they're looking back at you. And imagine how they feel receiving your kindness. And notice how you feel as you're meditating on this kindness. Maybe your heart feels warmer, maybe it feels sweet or tingly. Maybe it's this forward flowing feeling as kindness is emanating out of you. Maybe it was mostly concepts of kindness. Maybe it was things you'll say to them, or ways you'll be with them. Just letting yourself reflect upon what you've just cultivated. And I'm going to say some different things, and whichever ones stand out for you, just focus on them. So as you hold this person in mind, maybe you'll appreciate kind things they've done for you. Maybe appreciate that much more deeply. Or maybe you'll remember times you laughed together. Maybe you'll think of times where you taught them something, or where they cared for you when you were down. Maybe you appreciate some qualities they have. Maybe you'll see how powerfully you'd want to care for them if they were having a hard time. How deeply and totally you'd want them to be free from suffering. Maybe you want to look into their mind and see their whole life and care about them more deeply and completely, or all the chapters of their life and the experiences they've had. So whichever of those things stood out, just hold this person in mind and enrich your compassion meditation. And then as you hold them in mind, imagine them giving themselves compassion, being encouraging to themselves, kind to themselves, caring about themselves. And if they can do that easily, just soak it up. See how beautiful it is. Or if there's some ways in which they struggle, imagine just giving them a little nudge to care about themselves more in that way. Or if they look like they're really struggling to care about themselves, let yourself feel how beautiful it is that you care. Feel that love you have as you just really deeply wish that self-compassion for them. And feeling all the different compassions that you've cultivated with this person. You can give your mind the suggestion, you can give your heart the suggestion. All these compassions will keep getting more beautiful, more powerful, more wonderful. This person will bring me more joy, I'll express more kindness. Everything I just cultivated, I'll make more real and more amazing, and that's beautiful. Take a few deep breaths and just embody that. Feel it. And now I want you to imagine that they're looking at you. Maybe they don't say it as much as you like, but know that they probably care about you too. If you were ever hurting, they almost certainly would wish for you to be okay. They might phrase it as they wish for you to be enlightened, to be completely free of suffering and consciously creating each moment. Or maybe they just feel it. They wish that you were okay. They don't want you to hurt. You can imagine how they would wish for you to care about yourself, to be kind to yourself. Or if there are ways where you're like, I can't do it, you just see how absurd that is to them. That there's so many wonderful things about you. You're so great. And obviously they just want you to be able to care about yourself and deeply accept that you're great and that you deserve to care about yourself and to feel good. So breathe deep and let yourself internalize that. And as a selfless act of compassion for all beings, I want a world where everyone can care about themselves. I wish self-compassion for all beings. As I wish it for all beings, I give it to myself completely. As you take strong breaths, feel the parts of you that care about you getting stronger. The parts of you that are your own guru, your own enlightenment. Feel them inflating, stepping into being as powerful and beautiful and loving as they are meant to be. Wish this for all beings, that they will nurture themselves, they'll guide themselves, they'll love themselves. And as a gift to all beings, give it to yourself even more beautifully. And then as you reflect on this compassion meditation, we started with one person, so it was hopefully easier to care about, and we grew that caring, and then we gave caring to ourselves, knowing that deep down we wish for everyone to be free from suffering. And I just invite you to imagine that tomorrow when you do compassion meditation, you revisit this one person you were meditating on today. You can feel it all faster and more beautifully and more playfully. And then you might bring someone else to mind, someone else that's also easy to care about. And all the care will grow and shine, and everything you cultivated will be enriched as you fill it with the care and uniqueness of another person. And then the next day, as you just keep growing the care and compassion for all the people in your life, you can glimpse, or you can feel, or you can vividly experience, wow, I'll get to a point where I have powerful, overflowing wisdom and compassion, beautiful love for all the beings that are in my life. This is a practical, forever changing practice, and I'm doing it. And then a few weeks in, the love and care will have permeated completely through all the people in your life, and it will be overflowing to the strangers you pass on the street, and to friends of friends, and to all the people in the world, and to the butterflies, and to the lambs, to the cows, and to the kittens, and to the laughing babies, to the grandparents, to the pigs, to all beings. Maybe you can glimpse right now that you'll be a being of compassion that shines love and care out to all beings. And then I invite you to bring your hands to your heart, as if you'll be giving a respectful bow. And then imagine that all beings were looking at you, and they all felt that you'd send them love. And as you looked at all the beings in the universe, you gave them a deep, loving bow, as if strengthening the love and care that you wished for all of them. As you breathe deeper, feel that intention growing more powerfully within you, wishing that they feel it even more powerfully. They feel the depth of it, the authenticity of it. But actually you realize that almost all of us, deep down, wish for all beings to be free from suffering. All of us, if we could, would click our fingers and have a world of peace and love and care. And so as you look at all beings, you see that enlightened compassion being inside every one of them. And then you bring your attention to yourself. And you feel how precious, how important it is to care for yourself. To do it boldly, to do it powerfully, to do it wisely. I encourage you to practice compassion meditation each day. And as we come out of the meditation, bring all the goodness that you cultivated, bring it into your whole being, into how you think, to how you feel, to how you act, how you think of yourself, how you think of others, into how you breathe. You are a being of compassion, you see that compassion in all beings. And as you feel all the other people who are here meditating with us right now, here in the temple, on the live stream, or perhaps everyone who will ever meditate with us on this video, just feel the love and the care for all of us. And set the intention that whatever happens, whatever you're confronted with, you'll come back to this place of powerful compassion. Find how to see or think or relate from this wisest, most beautiful place. And then when you're ready, if you like to stretch or smile or bow to one another, just come out of the meditation in whichever way feels really good for you. So I'm going to end the live stream. I hope that this was beautiful for you, and those of us here in the temple will hang out a little bit longer. I hope you'll come join us.
Amitabha, and I thank you.
So I hope you'll come join us here in virtual reality or on the live streams, or maybe for some real life retreats. Thanks for being here with us, and I hope you revisit this meditation tomorrow. And wishing you deep love.